What is up, podheads? Back with another episode of the Podioslave podcast. My name is Tony, joined as always by Anthony and Nate.
Anthony is here. Is Nate here?
Check, check. What's up? Here.
Oh, check. He does it every time he comes into the Zoom, too. It's fun, guys.
Mic check.
Pre-prod meeting before we all live on the air.
Yeah. I've heard Nate say check thousands of times at this point.
It's usually NPR Nate voice, but that wasn't. That was good.
No, that was nice and crisp and clear, baby. We're ready to go. We're excited to bring to you tonight one gorilla versus 100 men. We'll see how this goes. That's what we're doing. That's the whole episode. We're just going to talk about that for the next 45 minutes. I'm just kidding. We're not going to do that.
I think we should, actually.
Yeah.
We've been doing it in text over the last couple of days.
Let's go live. Fuck it.
You know, this is such a bizarre thought process, but I was trying to think of like a music equivalent of that. It's like, could one Weezer Blue album battle 100 Ratitudes, you know?
That's good. I like this, actually. Yes, let's do this. I think the Blue album would beat the 100 Ratitudes, but typically I'm going to take the 100 over the
100 Hurleys.
Oh, poor Hurley. I recently have watched Lost, so now I know what it's all about, but yeah, and Hurley was one of my favorite characters, and now I feel bad about making that TikTok all those, 6-8 months ago, whatever it was.
Nate, who would win that?
I don't know.
Weezer Blue or
100 Ratitudes.
99 Ratitudes and
and one Hurley.
And one Pinkerton.
The Red Album. What is the Red Album called?
Just the Red Album.
Is it just the Red Album? Okay.
Yeah, it's another self-title with a color.
We're pivoting in real time. This is going to be a Weezer episode.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Yeah, it's just, they have a complicated history. No, we're not doing Weezer tonight. We're going to do Fenix TX. But I did want to ask you guys, because we haven't done this in a while, what are you listening to right now outside of pod stuff?
Oh, man, put me on the spot. Outside of pod stuff?
Yeah, because we're always, prepping for whatever we got coming up.
Oh, man. I'm going to have to look at
I just did that before we went on. I should have given you guys this prompt before. My bad. I'll tell you mine if you guys are ready. The band, the rap group's Cunnilinguists, they recently repressed Southern Underground for Record Store Day, and if you follow us on the socials, you understand my disdain for the way Record Store Day is done with scalpers, essentially, people going in, buying shit, and then selling it on the internet. That's one that I really wanted. It never made it to Maine, so I'm not, I didn't miss out on it because it never actually made it across state lines. But I did DM the people who made it, who pressed it, and hopefully,
nice.
I think it's Coal Mine. They made it sound like there might be another press in the works, so fingers crossed we get our hands on that. But I listened to that record probably 3 times, trying to find it online for 3 days. So that's what I've been listening to.
I had to think about it, and I actually looked. I recently put together my kids' playground, swing set. So that gave me a lot of time that I could just ISO on music, and I did not listen to pod-related stuff. So the first Vanna EP, The Search Party Never Came, I've been jamming that a lot. I loved that back in the day. The first Amur album, which is on Victory, Goodbye to the Gallows. And I don't know if you guys know her. She's a solo female artist, Jensen McCrae. She's got a really beautiful song called Massachusetts. That's I've been rocking that. It's out on TikTok actually last year, I think. And recorded version's great. Those are the first 3 that come to mind. So all over the map, you get metalcore and you get female solo songwriter.
I mean, good. that's what you get here, right?
And the spectrum of nerdery. Mine's all show related, so it's I guess adjacent to pod, but shows that are coming to Maine that I feel like I need to understand what the music is before it comes to the state, and also the recently announced Deltron 3030 shows that they're going to play front to back.
Yeah,
I got back into that record, and then as soon as that record stops on Spotify, for instance, it just kind of plays similar artists. So I kind of went down this crazy deep dive of I don't even know what you'd call that hip hop scene, because it's not underground. It's
kind of
underground.
Is, but yeah.
I guess it's underground. Yeah, so I just almost kind of discovered by fault a bunch of other cool shit. I'm like, oh man, I should just always spin this Deltron or just anything underground, because then you get all the adjacent, just like Rhymesayers, you get a nonstop playlist of really dope stuff. So that's kind of where I'm at. Everything from stuff that's coming to Portland, Maine, and Deltron, so hip hop and country and everything in between.
What we typically do here, right? All the different flavors of music, nerdery, it's what we do. So cool. We hadn't done that in a while, and we're constantly talking about what we're gonna do next. whether it be a record like tonight or an interview like the next couple of weeks. We're always trying to find the next thing to listen to. And sometimes we find the band and then we reach out. Sometimes the band finds us or their PR finds us and then we deep dive. And I wanted to pick something that maybe we hadn't done either of those things, because not that it's a job, it's not. We do this for fun, but every now and then it's cool to just jump back into other shit that maybe you aren't prepping for.
Well, didn't I say that was like my nerd New Year's resolution?
I think you did, yeah.
Yeah. To focus more on just be intentional about non-pod related stuff, which the irony is like, I love everything. It's just sometimes you feel like you have to listen to something to prep.
Oh, totally.
And all those that I just mentioned, it's not like they're on the hook, coming on the podcast. At least not yet.
I wish. Yeah, I mean, we could get all those. We would do it. like all those groups we were just talking about. We'd love to talk to all of them. So
that's a good callback to the New Year's resolution, because I actually haven't listened to like JRE, Joe Rogan, like any of those podcasts in months, because it's kind of not a waste of time, but it's like I'm interested, but I'm not even really paying attention. Whereas if I'm playing music, I'm paying attention. It's also easier to digest music than like a podcast about, I don't know,
aliens. Yeah,
flat Earth. Yeah, exactly.
About magnets.
What do they do?
How do they work?
That's it. Yeah, how do they work? Oh man. Okay, cool. So yeah, I wanted to start us there. Anthony, you had something that was going to lead into the album discussion tonight.
Yeah, so we're talking Fenix TX Lechuza, and I wanted to, and I may even get choked up saying this, but I wanted to acknowledge and remember Adam Lewis. Adam was the OG bassist, founding member of Fenix, and if you look, he was in pretty much every iteration of the band. I think there was just like a 2 or 3 year stint when they took a break where he was just not active, and but he was founding member, played bass in this album. He passed away last summer, pancreatic cancer, 2024. Always want to pay respects. I know he left a family behind. Certainly, we're talking about his music, so there's a creative legacy that he is leaving behind, and we're forever thankful for that, because I know for this album it's super special. And I think I can speak for all of us that this is a special record, and acknowledgement to Adam.
Yeah, well said. It's all nerdery and fun and things that we love, and every now and then there's some things like this they're super sad that go along with it, but he gave us a record, part of a group, Fenix TX, and gave us a record that I got choked up to listening to today. Like, it still hits me that hard. So the legacy is real, and shout out Adam for the work that he did, and he was a beast on this record too.
And I'll take it a step further, and I mean it when I say this. I almost didn't want to do this episode because there's certain records, and like I said the last few weeks, I say this a lot, all these deep dive episodes we save for the special records, this is like upper echelon for me, with the memories associated with it. The fact that if I think about like every music checkpoint and benchmark across my personal journey, this is one that's lasted all of them. It's just it's been always been there. It's like an old friend that it's not like there's years that go by and you don't see him. No, I see this friend every month because I listen to it a lot. And
oh, wow.
Honestly, it's no accident that it took us 5 years to do it. I think subconsciously it was like, let's wait till the time's right, or we want to do it justice. And hey, it's kind of like how we waited 5 years to try to get Atmosphere on. We waited 4 years for Crime and Stereo. It's like some things you don't want to touch because you want to wait till it's right. You want to do it justice. And this is up there for me personally.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like that. It's actually funny getting into the album, because unlike your legacy with the record, mine's has been relatively casual from the jump to present. Like, I didn't listen to the record front to back until prep for this up, like, to be totally transparent. And when I wrote that down as a note, I'm like, this is the first time I actually had to write that, because I remember, deep dives that we've done, one of you guys have said similar things. Like, I've never actually checked out this record, but I'm down to check it out or down to talk about it. And that's kind of my case for this one. I really fucking like it, which is another great exercise to like be turned on to something that you guys have been raving about for, a long time, right? Over 20 years. So, but the association that you have, memory wise, then too, you go down memory lane. Like, there is some with some of the singles and whatnot, and Tearjerker, for instance. But other than that, like, a lot of this was brand new to me.
I love it. I love when there's that element when we do this, because it's for us, like Tony and I that deep dove it, like I would love to hear this again for the first time.
Absolutely. Yep.
Not only like at my age, but I'd love to go back in time and, just be 16, 15, whatever the fuck it was, and relive the goddamn magic. Cause I don't know. I don't know where it fits into my top records, but it's gotta be up there. Someday I'll sit down and do that exercise, but
that'd be too hard for me, but I'm with you. Like, I want to know, because this could be a top 30 record for me. And
Yeah.
you're the reason that I got into it. In the moment too. You were like, bro, Threesome's awesome. Check this band out. Like, the Tearjerker is fucking awesome. Check this band out. Okay. All right. I'm in.
I think the only way that exercise would work is if you did it genre specific. Otherwise, you'd be down a rabbit hole for days.
It'd be too hard. There's too much out there. We've listened to too much stuff, and for me personally, I might be able to like narrow it down to ones that I've spent the most time with, maybe. And this is one that I didn't realize I'd spent as much time with it as I had until revisiting it for this, and that's another one of those things that I'm just like, I'm super stoked about when we get to do these, is that feeling I get when I'm like, oh yeah, I know every fucking word to this record, and I haven't listened to it in a couple of years, but it's one that I've come back to a bunch, and I still feel the same way about all these songs as I did when I was, in 2001 or in 2006 or in 2010 or today.
So let's set the stage. This was their second and last LP. Came out, May? Looked it up today, May 22nd, 2021. MCA Records. They got upstream from Drive-Thru. And I did some deep diving. They were Drive-Thru's first signing.
Really? Wow.
So the Rains, the brother and sister that started Drive-Thru, they were at Mojo Records. They broke off, signed River Phoenix, the original name for these guys. I think there was some River Phoenix's estate, got after them. They changed the name. Self-titled came out on, I think it was MCA and Drive-Thru combined in like 99. And then this came out in 01, which is crazy. Like their last LP was almost a quarter century ago.
Yeah,
Jeez.
nuts.
Yeah.
Just nuts.
So were you, Nate, we know, well, actually start with you, Nate. Were you casual? You knew of them, right? From the self-titled?
Yeah. I mean, they were on the Warped Tour circuit a lot. So between that and Drink Kerrang magazine.
No boy. Here we go.
Another Kerrang.
I definitely was aware of the band, yeah. And I had the demo, not the demos, but you know what I mean? Like the I guess it is a demo. 2 CD samplers and whatnot like that.
Samplers, yep.
And obviously the singles that hit the radio for this record in particular. But yeah, I mean, it's other than that, relatively casual for the most part. But I fucking really dig this record.
Well, it's got a lot of different things going for it, which is why you dig it. And we'll get into that here in a minute. But for me, like, okay, so you heard it in the moment, Nate, but didn't spend a ton of time with it back then.
Yeah, I actually don't think I had the full CD. If I did, it was burned. So I can say that.
I probably did from Anthony. Yeah.
Yeah, which was burned off of a purchased record, of course.
Yes, absolutely. So. Yeah, and alleged. All of this is alleged, right?
Yeah.
There's the purchased record right there.
The purchased record. I'm holding it up. It's a CD. It's got the eye. It's got the classic Fenix TX logo. Lechuza. Let's go.
We're recording it. There is video. It could see light of day if needed. It needs to happen. I actually think I have the radio version Rob gave me. Jeez, I can't even remember when he would have given it to me. I've had it for a long time. I got to dig it up. I think I still have it because it's not one of those ones you would sell back to a bull moose if you're trying to get rid of CDs. But in the moment, it was total word of mouth, hanging out at the lockers, like we've talked about in the past on this podcast. Anthony being like, you got to check this band out. And taking a CD book binder and burning 50 of his CDs onto my computer. And this is one of them, and one that I've just probably of all the CDs I've burned off of you, Anthony, this is the one I bet I listen to the most.
Crazy. That's crazy to think about. So wait, did you guys get into All My Fault when that dropped as a single?
I remember it.
You remember
radio,
it? Yeah.
But yeah, not as much.
Because I remember when that dropped from the self-titled, I think it was on MTV, and I'll say it, to me it was always Blink Jr. Like it was very on the nose Blink, and it was good. Like I have that record too. I wore that out as well. But it was very Dude Ranch era. And here's the thing: is that record I think was written in like '97 under the River Phoenix name, and then they re-released it, re-recorded it, I believe, for part of the major label deal. But it makes sense though, right? That sound was just kind of forming, right? And they were from Cali, think some of them grew up in Texas and had moved to Cali, but it was very late 90s Cali pop punk. I mean,
100%.
Absolutely.
100%. And I'm happy you called it the SoCal thing, because it is like that was a sound coming from that geographic. So it wasn't like a copycat thing as much as it's just that's the scene in that generic area. So Southern California, and the association with Blink obviously continued after this, right? So it makes sense.
When they were super young when they wrote it, right? It feels very what we would have been writing as that same age group. I think we're all probably similar age to these guys, maybe a couple of years younger. So it definitely feels like July of '99, right? Like it's right in that wheelhouse, and they and from where they're from, so SoCal, surfing, minimum wage, all that stuff, right? But then you fast forward to Lechuza, and it's got some elements of that, but it's way different. It's just a completely different band and record and maturity and all that stuff.
It's funny you say that, because that's undeniable. Like the maturity there, not only what they're talking about, the song structures, they bring Jerry Finn in. It's a whole level up from that perspective. However, song titles like Threesome, Phoebe Cates, there's that juvenile
tongue in cheek.
There was still that juvenile tongue in cheek. And I think Phoebe Cates was on American Pie too. Like it was perfect of the time. But where I'm going is, if you were a self-titled Fenix guy or a Enema Blink guy, there was enough here, I think, to keep you interested.
Absolutely. Yep. You're right. And American Pie 2 soundtrack, you mean? That song?
Is that what I said?
Yeah. No, I just don't remember it, but I believe you.
Yeah. BB was on there.
Loved those soundtracks. They were certainly of the time as well. And this band would have fit on it perfectly, just like Blink was fit on in the movie and on the soundtrack from the first movie. But yeah, they were kind of in that kind of Blink Junior vein, and then held on to some of it, right? They're definitely the song titles alone are for sure in a couple of spots some of that vibe, but the songs I don't think are, except for maybe Phoebe Cates. That might be the only one.
Yeah. Well, how do we want to do this? Do we want to do tracks or?
Oh, I mean, I've got thoughts on every track. So if we want to do tracks, we can certainly do it, but we can start with observations first.
Yeah, do observations. Yeah. I mean, I got plenty. I'll just jump in. Yeah. So there's, I guess, let's tack on them like maturity and development, because you're right. I think they were in their teens when they wrote that first record. So by the time this comes out, they're probably 20, 21. So you're still young, but there is definitely a maturity. Like, I don't think they could have written a lot of these songs back then, back in the first album cycle. I just don't think it was there. And what's also interesting is you can kind of tell, my guess is a few of these dudes are metal dudes.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
I wrote this down. It's a pop punk record with metal tendencies. Yep. Yeah.
I mean, even in the booklet, I'm not sure who it is, but he's wearing a Napalm Death t-shirt, right?
Wow. Yep.
Pasture of Muppets. Something bad is going to happen. And we'll get into tracks, but there's a metal rockin' tinge to a lot of these songs. And that was much different. Like, that did not come out, at least in my ears, on the first album.
That wasn't there in the first album. You're right. This is like, all right, well, we like that stuff, that pop punky stuff we did, but let's add a little metal edge to some of these songs in spots in songs, and then some songs that are just straight up metal songs, and there's a punk song on here. Like, there's a couple of departures, I would say, from that first album, where they take a few chances compared to what they were doing the first time around. And metal is certainly an undercurrent on this record, and it's awesome. I was trying to think of who else did stuff like this. Sum 41, right? They probably did stuff like this.
Yeah.
There's one other band. I'm trying to think.
NFG and Spots.
Yeah, NFG and Spots. There weren't a lot of bands that did this. There's Offspring and Spots, but yeah, there weren't a lot of bands that did this, and I think they do it really fucking well, and just maybe don't get the credit they deserved.
Well, I think it was just because it was so short-lived, right? I mean, yeah. I think they broke up for a little bit after this. I don't know how many years, but there was there's a gap in the resume after this.
Yep. Zebrahead. Zebrahead's the other one because of Greg, especially early Zebrahead. Yep.
100%. Yep.
It's funny when you said the Sum 41 thing. I wrote that down too because I heard some similarities and I realized, it's not Sum 41 that they're riffing off. They're riffing off, like you said, the metal element. And so there's some obviously influences from the guys in Sum 41 and Fenix TX, respectively, where they're like, oh, well, this is what I love, and this is what I'm gonna, integrate into the record. So, and it's just weird that it kind of came out around the same time, adjacent to the pop punk scene. I guess it was just proper timing with all those bands we just mentioned.
Well, and everybody loves Metallica, especially musicians, right?
Yeah,
Everybody
yeah,
always.
sure.
If I play guitar, like I probably took something from Metallica somewhere along the way.
Van Halen,
Maiden and
Priest,
Van Halen. Yeah,
Maiden and Priest.
Yep. Shout out Metallica putting out that 245 song reissue of Reload or Load or whatever coming up here. So,
Jesus, I mean that's it is what it is, I guess.
Cash grab, baby.
But that's clear. It's like it's funny. I didn't even notice one of the guys is wearing a Napalm Death shirt, and I'm like, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. So the metal thing is a big vibe. The other thing is they have some of the catchier choruses of the time. This whole record are sing along choruses that, whether or not they're happy, is a different story. But very easy to remember, very easy to get involved with when you're listening to it and or seeing it live. I would imagine. Never got to see them, but yeah, they so catchy, sing-alongs in spots, memorable lines everywhere. Like they knew how to write a song.
Absolutely, hooks for days, man. 100%. That's probably the one thing I realized today is that exact point, is the fact that these are like sing-along Beatles type anthems, where it's like, wow, it's such a small band in comparison, but songwriting wise and instrumentally, like it's kind of an instant listen. Like you don't have to skip anything because it's just easy on the ears.
Well, part of that too is William singing. Like he's fantastic. He can actually sing, not just for a pop punk movie. He can actually sing, and the harmonies and the vocal layering is beautiful.
So good. Yeah.
And you get it on like KDW. Like I met her before you. She wore the sweetest perfume, and then her scent remind me. You can tell it's layered. It's harmonized, and that always lends itself to sing-alongs.
100%.
Yeah. The production on this is phenomenal too. This is around a time where it could have gotten a little robotic or wonky, and I don't think it does at all.
I also saw in the credits the keyboardist from Faith No More, who they like kind of worshipped, is on a song, and I'm not even sure which one it was.
Wow, no kidding.
I tried finding like
Roddy
extras.
Bottom.
Yeah.
Roddy Bottom. He's the keyboardist for Faith No More. He does keys on, I'm not sure what track, but again, that's growth. That's evolution. I'm sure that's leveraging connections, and now that you're more established, but you don't do that unless you're good, or there's like some huge backing by the label, which I don't know. Maybe there was that too.
Yeah, but even then, you still have to be good.
You got to be good, and people got to believe in you, and the base product has to be good.
Yeah. For him to commit to it, he has to basically vouch for it on a personal level. Like, oh, okay. I mean, you guys are good, so fuck it, I'll do it. Instead of like, oh, okay, I'm doing a favor. Like, he's gonna be on there for forever, right? In perpetuity. So,
what other observations you guys got?
Another observation about the record is, if we're just getting on a basic level here, is the album cover itself is very captivating. I don't know why. Maybe it's the color scheme on it, but between the lyrics, I think it kind of lends itself to obviously youth, and it's just one of those album covers that you're like, oh, I'm intrigued by this kid on the bike. What's going on here?
Yeah, like there's a mischievous element to it.
Yeah,
Lechuza. I mean, it's an owl, right, in Spanish?
Mm-hmm.
A barn owl or something, a snow owl or something.
Barn owl, and also like I found what is it exactly? Stories of La Lechuza are common on both sides of the border of the Rio Grande and Texas and Mexico. La Lechuza translates directly to the owl in English, but it denotes a malevolent witch said to prey on drunks and children. So,
wow.
Which also leads into the last song being called El Borracho, which is the drunk.
Yeah. But I'm with you. I remember that drew me in because the kid's on the bike. He's looking back. He's got the eye mask on, and it looks like he's, to quote them, something bad is going to happen. He's up to no good. And then the eye, right? The eye is on the cape. The eye is also on the actual CD. And one of our good friends who loved this record as much as we did has that tattooed on him, on his arm. So,
no way.
Yeah, Ian.
Oh, does he really?
Oh, I did
on his
not
bicep.
Know
Yep,
I didn't know that. I didn't know that about Ian. Good for him. I miss Ian.
That was years ago, probably 20 years ago at this point.
He would be. I mean, when this was out, we were hanging out all the time, so that makes complete sense. We were all very into this record at that time.
I'm hesitant to give any more observations because they all tie to songs, and I think we should go track by track.
Let's go track by track. Yeah.
Even if it's a quick riff. Some of them I don't have a ton to say about them, but
I found the song that Roddy's on.
Which one?
Tearjerker.
Oh
wow. Okay.
Yeah. Unreal song. We'll get into that.
We will get into that. Yes. All right. Let's lead off. BB Cates. It's that first track. It's a great opener to the record, right? It's got the fun. It's got the catchy chorus. It's got the tongue-in-cheek lyrics. Yeah, it's just a great way to start a record.
Well, and I love that they weren't afraid to just like pick a name.
Yeah.
And like the song is gonna live on for eternity, and they're all in. It's like the only star who's touched my heart on, tossing off to her pole scene. It's just, It is. I mean, we were 15 and 16. Like we were the target demo. Like Phoebe was our Nadia, right? From American Pie. You know what I mean? So like, and I to be honest, I think this song got me into Fast Times.
Me too, man. Absolutely.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow.
I'm with you, man. I'm right there with you. And the chorus, wasting time, going blind. I mean, we all know what that means, right? It's funny, it's smart, it's stupid, it's all of the things that kind of fit a great pop punk song of this time. And I mean, who doesn't love Phoebe Cates? I love Phoebe Cates.
And this was a true handshake for the previous album. I think it handed the baton very well in the lyrical content, but they came out swinging. Like this is better than any song off the self-titled, and so it's a clear level up from the jump. And then like Looking for a Fast Time, Watching Out for Bright Lights, Send Me Up to Private School. Those are all
Phoebe movies.
Phoebe movies, you know. And I don't think I knew that until years ago.
I didn't know that till today.
Right on. Yeah. So that's the fun of doing this shit.
I've been singing that song for 25 years. I didn't know that till fucking today.
Oh man,
great one. And the drums on this are fucking awesome. I just wanted to throw that out there. Musically, the drums on this are awesome. Damon, shout out.
He's still in the band, right? Is he the only original member, I think?
They put a song out. Yeah.
I think he is. Yeah.
But yeah, the drums on this song are bad. Go back and listen to just the drums. They're pretty badass.
I was going to say, just the drums alone are fantastic on this record.
And I think I'd have to fact check it. And Damon, if you happen to be listening to this, you can fact check us. I think this is the first album that he played drums on. He was the guitarist. He switched. He
took over for their drummer who left going into this, I think, or maybe even during it.
Crazy. Bang an opener. Like it is one of the best, we'll call it pop punk in adjacent openers, just because it has, if you were to introduce someone to the band, or if I might pick this song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not a slow one. It kind of hits the pocket for everything.
No, I can vouch for that. Because again, prepping for the app, it kind of just brought me right in. Like, oh, first track, perfect track. Okay, cool. On to the second. Well, I know the singles, so now I'm on to the fourth. But in terms of what you guys were saying, observation wise, it's all encompassing. It kind of checks all the boxes that we had mentioned prior to that opening track is quintessential. And it really is, I guess, one question for you guys. Is it the perfect opening track for a album, let alone this record?
Oh, well, it fits this record for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do they have another one that would be better on this record? No, I don't think so. This is the one.
Track one, side one. This is a candidate for track one, side one.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, not just this record, anything in general. Like, it's one of those ones that would fit in our series there, which we need to dust off. We haven't done that one in a while. All right, track 2, KDW. Change up from the jokiness a little bit, right? Kind of gets a little bit more mature. Shows you, all right, we're not just the joke band anymore. We're not just making funny puns about jerking off. We're going to actually have a little bit of depth here, and we've all been around this situation, right? And it's got a huge chorus. Hey, I shouldn't speak her name, but she's always on my mind. Like, fuck yeah, dude. No, I got that at 60, and I get that at 40.
Yeah, William's a little vulnerable, right? It was introspective. You get the harmonies, you get the vocal layering, which I think is there on Phoebe Cates, but it's really pronounced on KDW. And this is top 3 song on this album.
Good. Yeah.
It's I'm looking at the track list now. I'm like, I don't know. It's top 5 for sure. It could be top 3 depending on my mood.
It's top 3 for me. Yeah. It's so good lyrically, musically. It shows that it's the type of song that I love from bands like this as they mature.
And it's got the guitar ding 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 at the beginning.
Yep. Question for you guys. is this harmonizing and I guess just style, because it is a little bit of a departure, like you said. Is it coming from them, or do you think it's coming from Jerry Finn? Or maybe it's a hybrid?
It's both. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
It's
all
a
that
good
stuff.
question.
Yeah, I think you've obviously got a vet in there who knows what he's doing on the production side of things, but you still have to like have ideas for songs, and he didn't. You know what I mean? Like they have to come up with all this stuff and play around with it and be able to pull it off. I definitely. It's hard to like who gets the blame pie, which is a bad term for it, but percentage wise. But I know that having somebody like Jerry in the room is huge. But they come up with most of what they're doing here, I would imagine. He's just helping them put it in the right place.
I think we've done enough of these episodes and interviews, more the interviews, to understand that the producer assesses the landscape and sees the strengths and sees what to really lean into and pull out. And if it was Jerry, I'm sure that's what it was. It's like, Will can fucking sing. Like, let's double down on that. You know, that's again, we have no idea. It's just speculation.
Right. It's a good question though, Nate, because you never know, and it's different. I'm sure it's different record to record too.
So Fenix is batting 1,000 right now. They're 2 for 2, all-time songs, all-time. As I say, in genre classics, classiques, and then they hit you with a little threesome
on the third song too, which is great. That's poetic.
Perfect single for this record, because this was, I think, for most people, their intro to this record, right? And it was the first song they heard coming off of the self-titled. Again, another perfect handshake, because it's. I mean, look at the lyrical content. Look at the song's about.
Well, and it's kind of a threesome with the first two songs, right? It's got the jokiness of the first song. It's got the kind of, it's a little bit of a relationship-y stuff in there, or you know, maybe if it's a one-night relationship, but the stuff in there lyrically, it's a little bit more heady than what you would get from an early pop punk record. So yeah, it fits where it is in the sequence of the record. It's smart in a couple of different ways. That one, and how the word, you know, the flowing of the words and the way that they are delivered, and then the speeding it up is cool. Like it's an interesting track that not a lot of bands could pull off.
Yeah, I was thinking about other songs that kind of start like this. Green Day, Geek Stink Breath, right, has that and it's like, I don't even know what type of category you'd call that songwriting, but it's cool because it's so different and it's slow, and you're like, what's gonna happen here? Okay, and then when it kind of rolls into the actual song, you're like, I get it now.
Well, the other thing is, unless you knew what the song was about, like the whole theme of it could slip by you.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's not overly in your face on the nose. You know, there's like you both deserve a good time in every position. You know, that's, if you read it, it's obvious, but when he's singing it, it's delivered in a way where it's kind of subtle.
Yeah, well, it could be interpreted a bunch of different ways, which is the hallmark of a good song. Everybody can grab it and make it their own. Like, he could be saying, fuck you two, I'm out of this threesome, or he could be saying, you know, this is where I want you both to be. You know, like you can take it any way you want, you know.
So have you guys seen the video for this song?
I haven't, and I will when we're done with this, because I didn't know there was one until right now.
Me either.
Do it. There's a moment in it, which I'll talk about. You know the part of the song where it goes, dun, dun, dun. And then it hits the hi-hats.
Yeah.
Yep.
And if you know it's out. Okay. So the CD version, Damon hits the hi-hats like a couple times, right? On the music video, that drags out for like 15 hi-hat hits, to the point where I watched it today and I was like, oh my God, I forgot about this. But I forgot about it. I wasn't expecting it. So I'm like, did this skip? It's like a broken record type of thing. And while the hi-hat's going, the two girls that are in the threesome are they're up on each other. It's a 15, 16-year-old's wet dream.
On purpose in that video to get you to go buy the record.
I mean, it's a head turner. Like, if you're not looking at this TV like back in the day, or watching my phone and this, the YouTube on this case, you're like, whoa, what's going on? And then you look and it hits you with that. And one of the Madden brothers makes a cameo in it. It's
that fits too.
It's very of the time, and I would love to know whose idea that was, because it is like, honestly, that kind of makes it an all-time video for the era.
one, if you're not paying complete attention to it, and in 2001, are people second screening the way that they do today? Probably not, but you might have had MTV on in the background, right? While you were hanging out with friends. And then that hi-hat just keeps happening. And then you're like, what's going on the television? What the fuck is happening? Oh, holy shit. So it's a good way to get you talking about your band from viral marketing almost in 2001.
I forgot about the music video differential. Just like reminded me of, was it Alien Ant Farm, Smooth Criminal? And it just like stops and the kid is on top of the car and grabs this crotch like Michael Jackson and the big explosion. But it like pauses the song for like a good 5 seconds.
And it gets you paying attention to it again if you maybe weren't. So yeah, good on them for knowing how to do that video-wise too. Great song. Great fucking song.
Track 4, Something Bad Is Gonna Happen. And I think this is when you see
metal.
Really the departure. It's that rock and riff. The lyrics and the theme kind of remind me of like Fight Club. It's like
Yeah, I feel like they're like trying to break into somewhere and steal shit.
Yeah,
is the vibe
exactly.
I get. Yeah,
it is anarchy, baby.
Is it Finch Project Mayhem?
It is exactly. It's exactly where my head went. You want to fuck shit up, well, motherfucker, come on. Which reminds me, the Spotify version of this album is edited. You guys notice that?
Yeah. I noticed that because that's all I got.
Yeah.
No, not mine. Weird.
Wow. I pay for premium. I don't know what special version you pay for.
I had F-bombs all day today. I don't know what to tell you, man. I feel like I would have remembered that. I would try to remember my drive today, but yeah. No, I think I had them all. But yeah, this is the metal tendencies. Lean into the heavier kind of metal, straightforward rock aspect of this band that probably hadn't seen yet, really.
Well, it's funny. If you look at the Wikipedia for this album, it says pop punk and then melodic hardcore, which is interesting.
Yeah, that's interesting.
But there's some rockin' songs. This is one of them. Total departure. I mean, let's think about it. If you came from the Blink camp and the self-titled Phoenix camp, you might be out on this. You know,
yeah. On this
you
song?
might. Yeah, you might be out.
Yeah.
I mean, for us, we're into the heavy stuff at this point, like new metal and all that. Like that, I'm in on all this.
It was a cool departure from a pop punk band. It was like, oh, okay, they can do this too, and this is a fun, like, hard rocking, hard driving song that you hadn't gotten from them really yet, and they could do it. They pulled it off really well, and I love the solo at the 2:20-ish mark. That part's really cool, and I love the way that it ends and goes into the next song, which I think is an all-time kind of. We're coming down from this kind of ripper to we're really gonna feel things here shortly.
Well, let's talk it. Let's get right into it. Number 5, Tearjerker.
So fucking good. So good.
Pound for pound, their best song. It is the most well-written song they ever did. I'd love to know the brains behind that one. I don't think this is one that I don't think they had in them in the self-titled era when they were in their teens. I think it's a masterpiece. It's one of my favorite songs of all time. It really is. I don't know what else to say.
No, 100%. So when I was talking about being a casual fan, I think I mentioned like I knew the singles. I probably played the record in full a few times. I think having the Burn record had its detriment because I didn't check it out like a true nerd, like looking through the booklet and the artwork and all that stuff. So maybe that wasn't a good time to get into this record in that way. But yeah, this song, dude, equivalent to like Adam's song, just like hits all the heartstrings. And in terms of song singing ability, writing, and vibe, and I mean the opening riff alone sounds like a Edge U2 riff almost. Like it's just like, god damn, what is this?
Yeah.
I love the way that, like I said, I love the way that riff comes in from the last song into the next one, which you don't get if you just play the song, but if you listen to the end of 4 into 5, you hear it.
Yeah.
I love the writing of the song is amazing. There's so many good lines. The chorus is amazing. It gives you this nostalgia for a relationship that probably was never going to work anyway, but you still remember it, like your first love type thing. Absolutely feel that from this song to this day. Like I remember it from, walking. I used to leave, whenever I would leave the house in my late teens, early 20s, I'd bring my headphones and my iPod, and I would often listen to this record wherever I was walking home from.
Right on.
And this song is just, this one and the last song are ones that I remember vivid memories of walking home listening to this record. But this song is one that I would come back to so often, and it still gives me goosebumps. And not many songs give me goosebumps at this point. This one still does.
That's wild. I mean, there's very few things that can do that all these years later. You remember where you were when you heard it. You remember what was going on, almost even better than a dream. You know,
Mhm.
even better
Yep.
than how you remember a movie. Like you lived it. And hey, I had these lyrics in my away message back in the day. I had them in my profile. I probably had a Fenix TX buddy icon. Like I remember distinctly.
What are all those things?
Yeah, if you're over,
Gonna be our
even if,
age to
I was
remember
gonna
that.
say
Yeah.
over 35. If you're 30, you don't know about that era.
Ooh.
You know what I mean? Probably not.
Instant Messenger was the shit. Yeah.
I know we had it really good. Yeah.
The days go by, the nights don't change. Yeah, I mean,
The stars still spell out your name.
it's wild how, like I said in the kind of intro to this episode, it's like songs like this have stuck with us. Like they've lasted the test of time. They've outlived and outlasted every flavor and fad of music that we've been in. Like this is a song and this is an album that's been there. It's wild.
Yeah, this is certainly one that makes you want to come back to it, and the record in general, but the song is fucking top tier. And I wrote one of the notes I wrote is, this is a type of song that makes me just love music, like just straight up. It doesn't matter genre, it doesn't matter context, it doesn't matter any of it. This is the type of song that, because of how many times I've listened to it and how many different scenarios I've listened to it in, it just brings me back to all these places, and it makes me love music. Absolutely. This is in that probably top 10 songs of all time for me.
I can agree with that, because it's not only like
yeah.
nostalgic factor or association, but also applicable to, then and now, really, when you think about it, right? Whether it be something you're thinking about back then or even present, like, oh man, this song is so, I don't know, timeless, I guess you'd say.
Man, we're all in on that song. We'll keep it moving.
Yeah.
Track 6.
Exactly.
Pasture Muppets, obviously play on Master.
So good.
Master of Puppets. Humorous title, has an edge, another rocker.
Cool breakdown.
Yeah, I think there's even some like edgy singing or yelling and stuff in this one, which I think was a first. I never skipped this one. I never skipped up to this point, and actually the run keeps going. We'll find out pretty soon, but
yeah,
no skips up to this point. And this was, again, this kind of reminds me of like something bad is going to happen, another edge, and maybe we'll talk sequence at the end or something. But I think like everything makes sense up to this point.
Yeah, I agree. I love the name of the song. It's a great callback, especially if you're like trying to show your metal tendencies to people, your thrashy tendencies to people. You're like, well, let's name a song "Pasture of Muppets." That's fucking great. Because first of all, the Pasture of Muppets could actually be a thing, and secondly, obviously, Master of Puppets. So pretty cool. And it is, it's more of that metal kind of rocky vibes that they showed us on. Something bad is going to happen.
Yeah, as a casual, again, like the grit obviously is captivating for me. We're all, heavy music fans, but the bass line too, like the kind of like the back and forth between a bass guitar is always interesting as a non-musician. You're like, that's a cool layering effect. Like I would do that too if I was in a band. And then
if I knew what I was doing, right?
If I knew what I was doing, exactly. And then the vocals just kind of reminded me of Dexter of Offspring, just like kind of that, like, I don't even know, it's not a yell.
I love that you said that, Nate, because I have that later. I have another song as an Offspring song.
I know which one it is.
Yep.
Yeah, and it's in my notes. Yeah.
We'll
get to it.
We swear to God, we didn't talk about this before.
No.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, the next song, A Song for Everyone. I fucking love this song. It's got a great chorus. It's got, we've all that I have $26 in the keys to. I didn't have a Cadillac. I had a 1994 Nissan Sentra, but I know that vibe. I've known that vibe my whole fucking life, man. It's so great. I drive all night, go anywhere you want to go. Let's fucking go.
This is another one, 7 for 7. They haven't missed up to this point. I would never skip this. I loved the message of it, like you said. And Nate, I'm going to give you some flowers. This song kind of reminds me of just like you. It's like that. It's that person on my shoulder that's like, let's get up and go. Let's do it.
I appreciate that. I feel like I got that from Rob recently too. He's like, dude, you're a great salesperson. You're always trying to push the envelope a little bit.
Yeah. And then you got me over here telling you, shut the fuck up, Nate. We can't do that. That's too much.
The devil and the angel on the same shoulder.
Do you think I should go? But before you give an answer, think of somewhere you'd rather be.
Yeah.
Like if Nate was like, let's go to this concert, think of somewhere you'd rather be. I'm like, there's nowhere else. I want to be there, dude. Let's go.
It's spot on. That's a great call. I hadn't equated this to Nate, but it does work.
Oh man, I'm flattered. The peer pressure, it's not a good thing always, but I feel like peer pressuring for shows is proper, right? It's just
You may have done that to me a couple weeks ago. It happens. It's fine.
It's harder now than ever, but back in the day, we had nothing to lose.
Let's get in the car and drive to New Hampshire, guy. All right, let's go.
Track 8.
Yeah.
Manufactured Inspirato. This is the first one I skipped. This is always, I always kind of breeze through this one. Sometimes I play it, sometimes I wouldn't. You're working day and night, steady struggling. You think you can do it by yourself. Yeah, it's fine. It's a good song. For me, I would always just kind of skip it.
I like this one, but yeah, it's of all the other ones so far, like this is the first time I've been like, okay, well, if I hit the next one, it's not the end of the world, knowing what I've got coming too.
I thought this song was cool. It just reminds me of one of those like perfect live crowd sing along anthems. You know what I mean? Obviously with the tempo too, but yeah, I can't relate with you guys in terms of like back in the day. I would kind of breeze by this one.
Back in the day, I'm like, I got the drunk coming up, man. I'm jumping into that one, but yeah, this one's cool. This one's cool, and it's got a little more of that metal, rocky vibe.
Then it gets into number 9, Beating a Dead Horse. Love the direction of this one. It's got aggressive. It's got kind of the screaming, which I don't think was William. I think that was one of the other guys. I'm not sure who it was. But again, another departure. Like they hit you with, the handshake songs, from the previous album, Tearjerker All Time. They get the aggressive ones, and then they really hit you. I think this is the heaviest song on the album, especially vocally.
I think before they start singing, this sounds like an Offspring song of the time.
Oh, right on.
Yeah.
This is the one for me. Like if you just listen to the guitars before they start singing, you're like, is this off Americana or like Splinter? This sounds like it could be on Splinter.
Interesting. So this was when you were talking about Offspring. Okay.
Yep.
For me, it comes. I'll tell you when it comes. For me.
Yeah, no, it's this one. They have a couple other tendencies there, but this is the one that I was like, is this an Offspring song? The second or third time through it, getting ready for this, I was like, that sounds like a fucking Offspring song. But then they start singing it. It doesn't really anymore, but the music does.
Yeah, heavy track, and also ballsy to not even jump into vocals until like, what is it, 22 seconds in, which is for a pop punk band, that's bold.
Yeah.
Which is the opposite of Threesome. Threesome starts with vocals.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Yeah. Well, they did everything on this record. They really did. They gave you a bunch of different flavors.
Track 10, Abba Zaba. I don't know. I'm going to guess this came from the self-titled writing sessions. It sounds like self-titled. It sounds like Blink.
I could see that. It used to come up a lot for me when early on in having my iPod, this was an A song. So anytime I would like start my songs and hit shuffle on the 15,000 that were sitting in there, the song was always first. So I heard this one a lot, which because I was like, oh yeah, I'll start with Fenix TX. Why not?
I love how, again, if you're under 30, 35, you're like, what are you talking about?
Yeah. There are these things called iPods. Like your phone, but you couldn't call anybody.
We're old.
There's you know what song that is for me? On the Talib Kweli DJ High Tech Reflection Eternal album, there's a song called African Dream, I think it's called.
Yep.
That always played first. And and to be honest with you, it's still, I swear, it still plays sometimes when I get in my car. Yeah. I don't know what triggers it.
The ghosts of nerdery past right there. Nice. Yeah, I mean, that's one of those things, right? Like, until another record comes on with a song that's got earlier in the alphabet A, you're going to get that every time. And that's what we used to do.
But yeah, this to me was always like, this is Dude Ranch era Blink, or even before. This is very on the nose, self-titled. Did you get that, Nate?
I was going to say before. I think it was before. I was trying to think of what Blink song in particular, maybe M&M's or something off of like pre Dude Ranch for sure. Just the intro sounds like a 1995 EP or something.
Totally. Yeah.
It's a fun one.
And then El Borracho, right? They hit you with El Borracho, which is,
so
I think there's some B-sides and stuff, but this is aside from the hidden track, but this is the last track on the album.
And it's a great album closer. It's got a bunch of different vibes. It's got an all-time chorus, like build up to a chorus too. Just a fucking banger of a song. And this is a song of all the songs on here, Tearjerker and this one are the two that when I play them, I am immediately back to where I used to listen to them all the time, whether it be walking home from a girl's house or whatever, when I was 22. But I texted you guys that today. I was like, I am immediately right there again. I'm on the Greenbelt in South Portland, Maine, walking back from Julia's house. I can't I don't know how I got here, but here I am. That's all I see right now. Wild.
Oh man. Like I said, music and I don't know, maybe a sporting event, you see a replay and you remember where you were when you watched it, but it doesn't trigger these emotions. I think music is the only thing it can do that, to be honest with
When
you.
the Sox beat the Yanks in 04, I did hit my head on the ceiling. I remember that. But other than that,
Ouch. Every time I'm in that basement, I remember that night.
Yeah, sorry. So Setla, shout out Setla.
The music thing totally makes sense. And that memory association that you're talking about, Tone and Tuan, is like, because everyone's kind of in their own movie in the first place. So what if you have a soundtrack to kind of like curate to your, I mean, obviously you knew you were walking home from said girl's house or whatever, and you might have had emotions. You're like, well, I'm going to play this song because this is how I'm feeling. And it just kind of coincides with that. So you're making your own like curated soundtrack to your own life scenery. And then no matter what, that's always going to be the memory associated with that song, which is cool. And that is the beauty of music, and that we're in control of that. But we're also lucky to be able to choose from this palette of everything in between, and El Borracho and Tearjerker. Yeah, just like really hit home in that element, like, and still do today for me. So I get that.
Well, and I'm like nostalgic for a time that wasn't that much fun. Like I'm way happier now and
Totally.
in my life and the choices that I've made that compared to being 22 and you kind of mixed up. Like it's not, you don't know what you're doing yet. So, but like you still have this like feeling, this vibe that you get, and music is the thing that brings me back to that every time. And songs like this, and the records like this do that.
I think it's Last Track Magic. It's again another departure song for them. It shows Will's vocal range on the chorus. The verses, he's almost talking. It's very different. And what I was talking about with the Offspring connection is the chorus. Take me, take me.
Yeah, I hear that.
Take me anywhere you want to go. When he hits the go, that shows his range. But that whole chorus reminds me of Dexter. Almost sounds like the Offspring.
Yeah, it's got some Smash self-esteem vibes for sure.
Yeah.
I hadn't put those two songs together until just this second. The vibe of self-esteem and the vibe of El Borracho. They're very, very similar.
Man. I think if we talk sequence now that we've gone through the album, there's a hidden track, right? Which was very of the time, absolutely showcases their love for punk and metal, 100%.
Yeah, it's cool.
And but yeah, I think they nailed the sequence, right? I think they hit you with no skips in the first half. There's a couple deep cuts that don't really hit. Maybe just one. In manufacturing,
and that one's still okay. Like it's not like it's a bad. It's just compared to the rest of the record, you're just like, okay, this one's not quite as the same level.
Yeah, they hit you with the throwback song and Abba Zaba, and then they close it with Last Track Magic. It's, I don't know. We talked about it'd be tough to like place where our all-time records are, whatever. I actually have a notes in my notes app. I have an ongoing top tier albums.
Nice.
Probably that I've done in the last couple of years. I think it's like 12 albums deep. So
is this in there?
Yes, this is in there.
Nice.
Yeah, this is, I don't know, gun to head, top 30 albums for me.
Oh, wow.
All time.
Nice. Very cool.
And it's just, when you factor in everything we just spoke about, the connection, the where, when, how, the evolution, all that.
Not even genre specific, but like everything
all time.
Wow.
Because you remember,
yeah,
I'm not a classic rock guy, so that like pushes all that out.
Still though, you got hip hop, you got metal, and still, I mean, that's a giant accolade.
I love you pressing me because now I'm thinking about it. I'm like, no, it's up there. It's a top 50 album for me all day. In terms of time spent, Jesus, probably top
More
10.
than that. Yeah, right.
Sure.
Yeah. I might be there too. I might be top 20 time spent, top 30 all time. And it's because it was ours, right? Like if I was 30 when this came out, it would have been a harder thing for me to get into. It hit me at the right time and then forward. And it still hits me today, as we've talked about for the last hour. There are so many songs on here that bring you back to a time and a place and are well written, and they stand the test of time because of that. And I just love it. It's such a great record, and I'd put it I bet it's in my top 30 too.
I love that. The time spent thing is obviously a huge pillar to making that accolade, because it's really time, place, but also time spent. And if the time spent's not there, then obviously you weren't able to digest it time and time again and really drill it into your head. So for me, obviously, it doesn't have that same weight in that, but getting into it for this app in particular, it's like I can see why it's validated for sure.
I think it's one of those like best versus favorite things. Like,
Yeah.
is this objectively one of the best albums of all top 50? Probably not, right? I think, but favorite? Ooh, baby. Yes, it is. The same thing with like American Pie. Is American Pie one of the best movies of all time? No. Is it one of my favorites? Still, yes.
I was 14 when it came out. Fuck yes.
Yes. And if you disagree, you're probably wrong. No.
Yeah, and I can quote that movie from start to finish too. Like I'm sorry that that's the case, but like Billy Madison, great movie. Happy Gilmore, great movie. Because I was the age that I was when they came out.
But that's also like, us fans against Rolling Stone or Pitchfork, making the same lists. It's subjective, but also like, well, what really it constitutes as a perfect and amazing record, Roger and Ebert rating films back in the day, like, okay, sure, that's your opinion. We used to just like
Roger and Ebert.
Yeah, I was gonna say Roger. You mean Siskel and Ebert?
Finkel and Einhorn.
Finkel and Einhorn.
I'm happy we corrected that now. It's sitting in.
That's great.
I don't want to get called out on Reddit.
Well, Roger Ebert was one of them. Gene Siskel was the other. So yeah, you were close.
Yep.
But we're kind of getting into it. But like we always ask to kind of close these out. It's like, what's the legacy here? I think this album is so grossly underrated. I don't know that this album gets the shine it deserves back then or now. And I think part of it's just this was a band that had 2 full lengths, kind of went quiet for 15 years, put out an EP. I don't know what lineup put out the EP. I've checked it out over the years. Haven't spent a ton of time with it. It's probably great. I just haven't spent a ton of time with it. And maybe had they continued, there'd be more of a base there. Maybe not. I don't know. But I'm all in. And I would say this is one of the most underrated albums of all time, especially if you're into this. If you're into punk, Warped Tour, When We Were Young era stuff, like, man, I don't know. It's tough to beat this one, guys.
Yeah, if you're of a certain age like we are, this is a record that maybe you knew of in the moment but didn't spend any time with, or liked but moved on. But it's certainly from that time frame is underrated, and I think in general is underrated as a record. And they were probably bit by not being more active after it, and that might be why it's underrated. But this record is too fucking good to not do what we did with it tonight and then some. So
yeah, I can vouch for the fact that at the time I probably wasn't fully invested, because I don't want to say it was an oversaturation of this type of music, but there was just so much coming out simultaneously that it was almost hard to pay attention to one thing at a time. I mean, this is also adjacent to the new metal scene popping off in 99 to 2002, right? This dropped 01. So was I moved on from this scene at that point? Possibly, because I remember like digging the new metal scene pretty heavy at this exact time. So that might have been part of it. But it just shows like we're all very equivalent in terms of our music appreciation then, now, and all over. So the fact that I didn't grasp it is a shame.
That's why we do this. Now you're grasping it. Now you're going to have it. It's going to be in your back pocket forever because you remember how much you liked it doing it for this.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm glad we did this. I think, going back to my comment earlier, which is like, you want to do it justice. I think we did. I love that we did the song by song.
Me too. We haven't done that in a while. It's been a long time, actually.
Yeah.
And we never planned it either.
No.
I think what was the record we was like, want to do it? Oh, Jimmy World, maybe? Was it Futures? We went track by track.
We might have gone track by track on Futures. We went track by track on Lateralis.
Oh, yeah.
We haven't done it very often. No. It's not happened often, but there are a couple back there where we did it. And I'm glad that I went track by track in my notes, because I don't always do that. But I was like, I'm going to do that today because I like all these songs.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's a good spot to wrap. We really appreciate you checking us out. This is what you do. This is what we get here week to week. We do deep dives. We do interviews. We've got one next week. We've got an interview the week after that. Some records that are coming out in late May. So stay tuned for those. But we're nerdery 24/7 at the Podioslave House. So if you want to interact, hit us up.
24/7, 25/8, 26/9.
Oh, wow.
Teaser.
Ooh, oh, hey-oh.
Yep. Segments, inside jokes, and all. Stay for all of it.
Yep.
Thanks for checking us out. We'll see you next week and the week after. Peace.
Peace, podheads.
Cheers, nerds.
Thank you for listening to Podioslave. We are at Podioslave on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, all of the places that you can find us on social media. Facebook, Podioslave Podcast. YouTube, Podioslave Podcast there. Email us at podioslavepodcast@gmail.com. And hey, if you want to become a supporter, click on the link at the bottom of the episode and give us $1, give us $5. It keeps the lights on, keeps us going. We really appreciate that stuff. Thank you.